Whoa, 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 whoa!
We have an accident ahead.
Woo. This is my special guest, Jacki. Jacki is joining us today for Walk MS, and we are going to have a fantastic conversation with her today about her multiple sclerosis journey. So, my first question for you is, when were you diagnosed with MS?
So I was diagnosed in July of 2016. But I probably had MS since 1993. That was the first real big relapse of symptoms that I had. I woke up, I had twins. Want to start over?
No, you're totally good. Okay, guys, let me tell you real quick. When you have multiple sclerosis, you have cognitive dysfunction and your brain goes all the time. So if we do that along our adventure today, well, that's what Adventures with Disabilities is all about. Just accepting our disability for what it is and just rolling along with it, guys. So that's what we're doing today. So you had twins.
I had twins in 1993, and I'm only 5'2", and that took a lot out of me. So right after the twins were born, I would have symptoms of my hands and feet being so asleep that it would wake me up in the middle of the night just crying. And then it grew to the point where I couldn't walk. I couldn't put my feet on the ground, and my hands were dropping everything. So I went to a neurologist, and the neurologist took a spinal tap and gave me a test to see how many oleocal bands, I think that's how you pronounce it, that I had. Anyway, I only had 4.5 oleocal bands at the time. And in 1993, that was not enough to say you had MS. So the neurologist said to me, "You don't have MS, goodbye." And then I was without a doctor.
Wow.
All those years.
That's actually crazy. My first spinal tap, I had 9 O-bands. Sorry, she can pronounce it. I can't, so I call them O-bands. I had 9 O-bands. And then they decided to do a second spinal tap just to re-verify everything when I first got diagnosed. I had 14 O-bands. What the heck, guys? They say a normal, see, brain fog. They say a normal person who is healthy with healthy spinal fluid in their spine usually doesn't even have an O-band and might possibly have 1. So imagine us talking about having multiple, tons of O-bands. That is crazy. And maybe down the road in this channel I can go into depth and fully explain O-bands. First I gotta learn how to pronounce it, but for now we are learning about Jacki's special story and diagnosis in getting MS. Okay, so you had twins, and you weren't officially diagnosed. Like, was it an unofficial diagnosis?
Nope.
Or just a, oh, you're good, move on your way?
Yep, move on your way. No, in those days the neurologists weren't out for treating symptoms. They were just out to diagnose.
And that was
Period.
Around 1993, right?
Yep.
Wow, that's fascinating. So how long did it take before you finally actually got the diagnosis?
Well, let's see. 1993 to 2016. I can't do the math because I have multiple sclerosis and I have brain fog.
Don't worry.
So you guys can.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. During that time, I had all kinds of symptoms, including super bad stomach aches that nobody could explain. I had all kinds of endoscopies, colonoscopies, and they kept finding nothing. And now looking back, I know that was the MS hug, MS grip, and it debilitated me. I had to take weeks off of work, and nobody knew what it was. And so, yeah, symptoms like that.
I actually remember in my own MS journey having a couple of weird things like that were unexplainable. But then after I got MS and I started understanding it, I was like, wait a second, that was an MS problem?
That's
I just
right.
didn't know it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then you got diagnosed with MS, and after that, how did your journey transpire?
Well, actually, December 23rd of 2014, my entire family went ice skating at the Gallivant Center. And I used to ice skate, and I used to choreograph ice skaters, because I owned a dance studio for years. And so I thought that I could just take off. And my twins were skating super fast, and they were going backwards, doing all kinds of turns. And I thought, okay, I can do this. So I took off after them, and I slipped and fell right on my tailbone and broke it. Well, from there, I was in excruciating pain, and I didn't go to the doctor to get an x-ray, so I lived with that for probably a year, until my pain got so bad that my gynecologist, I was at the gynecologist, and I told her about my spine and breaking it and how much pain I was in and all my symptoms. And she said, you know, I think you have MS. I'm going to make a referral to a neurologist, which was Dr. Foley. And when I got there, sure enough, I was diagnosed with MS, and I had an MRI, and I had a pretty big lesion on my T6, which really explained a lot. And I also had broken my lumbar 4 and 5. So I was all that time without knowing that I had a broken back. So then I went to an orthopedic doctor and promptly had a lumbar fusion. So pain was just excruciating for those 3.5 years. Yeah, it was terrible.
Wow, that's crazy. I can't imagine living with all of that pain. All right, so we're going to move on to our next question, which is in the realm of multiple sclerosis. And that question is, what do you want the world to know about your journey, as well as what do you want the world to know specifically about MS? What would you like to share for the world to see?
Well, I don't think that at this point the world knows that multiple sclerosis is different than ALS, because ALS is a peripheral nervous system disease, but it's similar that those of us who have progressive MS, which I have, the symptoms gather, they don't go away, and they get worse over time. Today, I'm walking in the MS walk because I am having my first remission in years. And I feel great, and I can walk today. I actually have not many symptoms except for really numb legs. But why? Well, the reason is because MS is a disease where your white blood cells keep producing because they think that they need to heal the lesions in your spinal cord. But they aren't ever going to heal the lesions in your spinal cord. They're going to be there your whole life, and they're going to keep growing. Chances are, every time you get an MRI, you're going to have a little bit more lesions. And so, those white blood cells, they just multiply and multiply, and they keep attacking my spinal cord. And my spinal cord is not only inside my vertebrae, but it's also attached to my entire brain, okay? And that is what affected by MS. These white blood cells just keep attacking my body. Now, in my case, I also have leukemia. And so that's another reason for white blood cells to go haywire. Because in leukemia, they actually clone themselves and they make all of these white blood cells. So for me, my MS journey, I've had to take medicine. And the medicine usually is dictated by the insurance company. You have to start with Copaxone, then you get Tecfidera, and then when that doesn't work, you get another one, and you get another one.
Yep.
Well, Ange and I have this really fun virus called JCV. So JCV, once those get really high, we can't have our medicine anymore. And because we're in danger of having PML, which is a virus you get in your brain, in your spinal cord.
Can you pronounce PML? Because heck no, that word is so long. I can't pronounce it.
No. No, I can't pronounce it either.
No.
It's pulmonary something.
Yeah, you're something Lucas. I don't. Guys, look it up. Look up PML. Trust me, you try to pronounce it. Can you pronounce it? If you can, link it in the comments below, because I cannot pronounce it.
But whatever it is, it's incurable, and you usually die quick from it. So nobody wants that, okay? Luckily, our doctors keep a close eye on our JCV virus. So complicated, right? Well, the medicine they finally wound up giving me is called rituximab. And rituximab works in this way. It's an monoclonal antibody. Just a sec. I had another brain fart.
That's okay. There will be a lot of those on this channel, so you are totally fine.
Okay. So it's also an immunological medicine. An immunotherapy. Okay. So what it does is it actually attacks the CD20 antigen antibody that lives on the top of a B cell, okay? And B cells are white blood cells. And so what it does is it attaches to that B cell and it wipes out all of my B cells. Yep, all of my white blood cells. Depletes it. And so I get really sick. I get so sick that I am puking, I can't open my eyes, I'm in bed. It is a really rough time. And it's an infusion. And so last time I was in bed for 6 weeks afterwards, and I was so bad that I had to get another medicine, and it's called Solumedrol. And this time I got a 2-day dose of Solumedrol. It is massive amounts of steroids. And these steroids can hurt our bones and hurt our teeth and our skin and make our hair kind of yucky, fall out. Yeah, it's really icky. And you feel sick after that.
Yep.
I always say that I'm not going to talk to my family for at least 2 weeks after. No, I stay away from Facebook because I cry at every commercial.
You know.
Everybody's against me. For me. And I get so
weird with Solumedrol. I know exactly how that is.
Yeah.
Oh. Man, I can't imagine, like, not only do you have MS, which by itself is like the most debilitating freaking thing out there, and then next thing you know, you get leukemia on top of that.
So it's not so rare. So people who are on Tysabri or other medicines, they can get leukemia. But I got leukemia because I lived in the Mojave Desert in the 70s, and they did radiation poisoning, or radiation atomic bomb testing there. And the radiation there in Lake Mojave and in the Mojave Desert in Nevada is full of radiation. And that is, I don't know, you know, Yeah, I think that's why I got MS.
Where?
My college boyfriend,
That could make sense.
and I lived there. I went to UNLV, and he also got MS.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And he got it hard. He's been in a wheelchair for 20 years.
That is actually fascinating. So it could very well be because of those bomb testings, something because of that caused your immune system to go haywire.
And you,
That's
Miss Angie,
fascinating.
you live in northern Utah. And guess where the
I
wind
do.
fallout was from that nuclear testing? Southern Idaho, northern Utah.
So that could also make sense. I really think there could be direct links to that. They should actually do, I don't know, have they done studies
Google it.
on that?
They have done so many studies. There are so many
Yes.
lawsuits. And I don't know, maybe you and I can get in on that lawsuit. I don't know.
That would be fantastic.
Money, 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 money.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good song. Okay, so our last and final question, guys, before we see you back at the MS walk, okay? Our last and final question. Not only have you dealt with a lot in life, and you've dealt with a lot now that you have leukemia and with MS, I just have to ask you, what inspires you to keep going? Like today, you could have just stayed in bed, you know, because you probably feel crummy as it is, but you managed somehow to get out of bed, put a smile on your face, and join us at Walk MS. What in the heck inspires you to keep going and not give up? What's your reason?
Well, I think that I have to admit that Solumedrol I took worked. And it has been for 6 weeks since I've had it. And because of that, I am in a remission and I am up walking, and it is a little easier. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to be a warrior today because I'm not fighting as much as I usually am. On the days that I couldn't get out of bed, on the days that I'm having spasms and electrical shocks and MS grips and my body's going haywire, and I don't know. I don't know if I could have gotten out of bed. But during this whole time, I have really gotten to learn to love myself and take care of my body. So I meditated. And I started meditating probably about 2 years ago. And it really didn't kick in till like the last 6 months that I realized that I can calm down during the day while I'm awake, and I can help myself with not only my pain, but I can motivate myself to say that I love my life and I love the people in my life so much. And if I don't make it, if I die tomorrow, then that's got to be okay. And there are some times where I don't think I can get out of bed and I don't think I can make it. And the pain has been so bad, even in the last 2 years, that there are times where I just can't take the pain anymore. But today, it was a little easier. And by golly, this is the first time that I have ever been able to walk during an MS walk. The first time.
Holy cow.
Yep.
I didn't realize
years.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, okay. Today is going to be extra special for you then, because you are able to actually do the walk without using an assistive device.
I don't even have a walker today.
Or a cane, and I've seen you with a cane. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That is actually super impressive. All right, guys. This has been our awesome, fantastic interview with our really good friend and special guest, Jacki, today. She is absolutely incredible and lovely. And honestly, I could talk to her for hours. She has
and we do.
infinite, yeah. She has so much wisdom. Yeah, it's great. So we are almost to the MS walk. And when we get there, we will jump back on and we will see you guys there. I'm sorry if parts of this video has possibly been shaky or whatever, but there was an accident back there on the freeway. And we kind of bounce around a little bit. So we are doing real life here today, guys. But catch us back at the MS walk and we will see you there. Stay tuned. See, guys, there is an accident. Well, actually, there's 2 accidents. Ooh. So, drive safe to walk MS. That's all I gotta say. I'll show you our view. Maybe. I don't know how to work this.